In a previous video, I explored our base camp setup. In this video, I did a fairly extensive road trip in which I had to keep my camping setup much simpler. Alright, Montgomery Bell State Park in Tennessee, just outside Nashville. Nice little stream running in the background. And this is, other than a driveway, the first time I'll set up the rooftop tent mounted on the truck instead of the trailer. So I think I'll set the tripod and we'll see how it goes. Well, I'm so used to winter camping, I'm not used to things going up that fast. So that was very comfortable. All set for an early start this morning. I was able to shave and shower out in the little shower house there. So this kind of condensed setup works really well. Yesterday morning, outside of Nashville, sky just opened up. Pretty heavy rain, so I did have to fold everything up a little bit wet. Fortunately, the rain ended without making me too terribly late for my first appointment. But like I say, it's surprising when I'm not winter camping how quickly this stuff sets up and tears down. Just doing campgrounds on this road trip, but it's a perfect way to figure out whether the gear is going to work the way you got it set. I'd say for the most part, so far so good. One minor mistake, my little battery pack I left in the tent when I folded it, so I couldn't charge it. So I couldn't run the lights in the tent last night. It's no big deal. Just used my cell phone, but for the most part, so far, managed to pack everything I needed. So far so good. Oh, and I left the fridge plugged in overnight, so fortunately it's the battery actually had enough. I was going to say its low voltage cutout worked, but it didn't need to. It was still running in the morning and the car started just fine, but definitely not a mistake I'd like to repeat. I don't do a Jackery, but I could see getting one for these kind of summer trips. I don't have to worry about the cold weather performance of the battery, and I don't have to lug my heavy AGM camping battery that I use in my trailer. So that might be one add, is to bring a little Jackery style solar generator with me on some of these trips. So this is Wright Patman Lake, I think it is. So I'm here just outside Texarkana. Just kind of relaxing this morning, have a little coffee while I wait for the sun to come up and dry the dew off the tent. I don't need to pull out of here till 8 a.m. or so I can relax for a while. It's worth noting that this was a 5-city, 5-day road trip. So I think my favorite part was I was able to use iOverlander and various similar resources to book little overnight spots in beautiful campgrounds. I just wanted to make sure that there was a shower house since I was doing work. I made some changes to the gear, not just putting the rooftop tent onto the truck instead of my trailer. And of course I cut down significantly on the amount of gear I packed. But I also recently acquired a gaming chair from a previous learning where I was trying to do computer work in the rooftop tent and my back really got sore from arching over the laptop. So the gaming chair was another great add. So on this trip I will say everything worked. The truck ran great, no breakdowns, the setup and teardown was great, and instead of staying in say like a Holiday Inn Express or a Hampton Inn, I stayed in beautiful campgrounds with remarkable scenery. Got to say hi to some nice folks who were either camping there or passing through as I was. So overall it was Indianapolis, Indiana. I stayed at my son's house the first night in Bloomington, Indiana. Then went down to Nashville, stayed outside of Nashville. Then Texarkana, Texas, where this drone footage was filmed. From there I went up through into basically the Ozarks, an area that was more of a kind of like a roadside RV park, where I stayed in Missouri, saw a guy in St. Louis, and then headed back home. So Monday Indianapolis, Tuesday Nashville, Wednesday Little Rock, Thursday Dallas, Friday St. Louis, and then back home. I'll probably do more trips like this, my current job responsibilities, and it was nice to see that my overlanding gear allowed me to just have a lot more fun and see really a lot of beautiful areas in the course of doing my work. And I can't claim this was an original thought. Many years ago I worked in Minnesota. I was in a training for about a week, and I was impressed that one of the guys arrived in his pickup truck with a kayak, and instead of staying in a hotel near the headquarters there, he stayed a little ways out in a Corps of Engineers piece of land on a reservoir lake, and every evening when we were done, he'd go out and paddle the lake, which I thought was very resourceful and clever. So we'll see how many more trips like this are in my future. One thing I definitely want to do is rebuild the build I did to store the gear in the back. This worked fine, but I definitely want to do a better slide out for a fridge and things like that. But I was definitely able to cut down my gear without sacrifice. Well, it's kind of a strange experience for me. This summer camping setup is so fast and easy that I'm just kind of milling about, waiting for the sun to shine enough on the tent to dry the dew. I don't need to leave right away anyway, so I can take the time to do it. It's just amazing to me. I'm just kind of milling about, occupying myself. Did a little bit of work, and then just kind of sitting out in a beautiful morning, relaxing. The weather is just perfect. No mosquitoes. Not too warm, not too cool. Just kind of waiting for the sun to break enough over the horizon to hit the tent and bake off that last bit of dew. I'm sure I could put it away this way without harm. I'm going to open it back up again this evening, but yeah, just so much simpler compared to my winter camping setup. It just pops up, pops down so much faster, which really gives you time to recreate. Future trips like this, I might throw the bike rack on the back and just bring my mountain bike or something and kind of do some additional recreation when I've got a few hours of time that I can use. But once again, kind of doing field work and remote work, can I combine it with the hobby of overlanding? And I'd have to say, so far so good. I even flew the drone a little bit this morning, which was kind of fun. Looks like throwing away my trash will be a little exciting this morning. Well, a bit of a dark omen here as I approach the dumpsters. Hope these guys are inclined to wait for something to die before they try to eat. That was kind of wild. Bunch of vultures hanging out by the dumpster. Well, this test has worked out nicely. I've got my laptop here in the rooftop tent using the gaming chair. Works out really nicely. My back and arms don't get sore. I'm trying to do work.